Hello everyone, this is Jimmy and welcome to episode 38 of Project Ozone 3. So it's been a day more or less since we finished recording last episode, and our singularity count has grown about as expected. I think the ones that we have the least of are like Fiery there is still one of our lowest at a stack and 44, but by my count that's enough to make 9 infinity ingots. So let's get that process started. I've already gone ahead and picked up a stack of each of the ingots to complete the quest. And actually, I'm kind of curious. What happens if we hit the Claim All Rewards button? We get more rack than we have inventory room for, huh? All right. Well, let's put it all away. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what we're gonna do with all this rack at this point. Let's see, 4,200 of it. I don't really have use for any of it. But anyways, to turn this on, let's see, what do we have to do? We have to power it. And I think that might be it. Power to you. Ooh, light spike. Getting a lot of those. Alright, so what we should observe is it'll pull in the components as needed. And config. I guess I don't have auto, right, because I have to send the items somewhere. You know what, let's just send the items into a crate. Right here. And that is north. So I want auto extract north. Alright, so this will take it a little while to populate all the slots because there's a lot of slots to populate. But once it's done, it'll make our ultimate singularities, and as I said, it should make in total about just short of 2 stacks. For these infinity catalysts, I have the recipe saved. I could fully automate this process, but we're only going to make, I don't know, maybe like 5-ish stacks of this total, if even, by the end of the pack. So I don't want to set up a full robust automation system because that'll just waste time. For now, I think what I'll do is I'll just run power over to it. Let's see. You can run it right along here. Right at walking distance, or walking height, because OSHA approves of such things. And then I just, let's see, oops, not that button. Input from the top, out the north, smart, yes. And then all I'll do is I'll put the inputs in that crate and let it pick what it wants to use. All the raw ingredients are just chilling in this chest. Because smart insert is on, it'll only selectively take the items it wants, place them into this crafting grid, and we're still waiting on these. We can see it's inserting singularities. So while all of this crafts, let's look at our next step. And I believe that would be to craft the infinity ingot. Let's see. Ingot. So everything here we already have except the catalyst. We need to make some white matter, white gem wafers, and crystallized tritium. What makes this? Alright, block of tritium. Easy enough. Lots and lots and lots and lots of catalysts. Here we have it, our first 100 infinity catalysts. Or is it 90? I don't know, what are the other? That's... Wait, it's 10 per, well, oh, I got materials for 10 ingots. Well, let's not make 10, let's make 9. 7, 8, 9. The catalysts, the remaining catalysts we'll end up using for something else. So anyways, with 9 of these, we can turn them into a block. It can be done in any crafting table. And let's see, an imprisonment tool. Cool looking block. I don't think I've ever done anything with a block of infinity before. Anyways, you're coming with me. And we'll spawn them in. Would you look at that? It's beautiful. probably get more infinity blocks in a minute than we'll use for the rest of the pack, but whatever, there they are. And here we are with a bunch of infinity blocks. Like before, they have to be unpacked in the factorizer, but that's no big deal. So with this out of the way, let's get you off our list, and we can clear all of these off our list as well, thankfully. All right, so the next step, I think, is we can start getting into some of the creatives. So these 10 here, I believe, are the only creatives that have, let's see, that have recipes in the pack. They're the ones listed here. And the energy one. Technically, like we can do this, but it has an EMC value. So I guess, I'll withdraw one at some point and complete the quest. So yeah, let's just get started with the tank. So in most of these, there's nothing too special in the recipe. In fact, almost everything here just has an EMC value, with the exception of osmium clumps. So if you remember before, I was thinking we have these osmium crystals, we can process them into osmium shards. But even easier, we can just take osmium ore and turn it into osmium clumps in a purification chamber. Purification chamber. May as well make it a factory because the installers are free. And does it work? No, did I read the recipe wrong? Purification chamber, osmium ore chunk. Oh, I need to supply it with flint as well? Is that how that works? Or do I need oxygen gas? Yes, let's find out. Okay, no, that works. Cool. Alright, let's get crafting. So, infinite fluid tank. Again, with our osmium clumps out of the way, basically everything else is just made with EMC. Now these infinity tanks, if we couldn't make them out of EMC, oh boy, would it be a recipe. I guess it's not that bad. It's a bunch of wafers. It would just take a long time to craft these. Alright, whatever. They use these annoying ultimate tanks that don't stack, so we can only craft one at a time. We probably, honestly speaking, don't need more than, one, if even. But I figure maybe they'll have a use down the line. So let's craft a handful, and we'll see if we end up putting any to use. Anyways, I think I have materials for 16 total. 16 creative fluid tanks, which means we can have, up to 16 creative fluids going at once. These may or may not be helpful going forward. I honestly don't know, but check it off the list. All right, next is the infinite energy from magnetic craft. So I think this produces magnetic craft energy, but I don't see anything here that should be difficult. Let's just make one. And infinite energy. All right, just need one. Everything else. I think this, again, since it's only useful for magnetic craft, we can use it to power this thing if we care. Frankly, I don't care. Just to be sure, I'm going to make sure it doesn't connect to our usual energy cables. Because I know if I don't, somebody in the comments is going to say, Jimmy, you could use it for infinite power. Turns out, we can't, and it's basically useless. Anyways, next up we have, let's see, I think the generator takes chaos ingots. We'll hold off on that. The reactor coolant port and its counterpart, the steam generator port. Well, a chance to put one of our creative fluid tanks to use. The creative coolant port takes 4 materializers each, and those take a bucket of liquid antimatter. So I could, you can craft these in the pressure chamber thingy over there, but now that we have a creative tank, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'll get a bit extra just for good measure. Nice. All right, let's make the coolant port. So all this does is create an infinite amount of steam, although with creative tanks also being able to produce an infinite amount of steam, I don't think it actually does anything meaningful. Next up, the turbine creative steam generator. Yeah, not going to use it. So with that out of the way, we can make the creative mill. All right. So looking at this, we're going to have to do some Astral sorcery to get our radiant stars. These are how you like reset your Astral sorcery skill tree points. But nothing else here catches my eye as being particularly difficult to make. Ooh. Well, we almost got through the whole pack without having to do any crafts that require basically a full starlight bar, but now we have to enhance our crafting altar just a little further. So much like before, where we have these little structures with a celestial collector crystal empowering our ritual, which we aren't using, we can make a similar thing to empower our table. Now, I could just retask this one. However, this crystal is attuned to Horologium, and when Horologium isn't in the sky, I think it has limited effects. Actually, let me just try it. Maybe it works fine. I forget what the item is called to link him. Linking tool, maybe? Yeah, linking tool. So let's see. Unlink you, and then link you to you. Out of range. Where can I put you? Try that again. Link you to you. Link you to you. Link you to you. Oh no, it does give light. I think actually, yeah, if it's under a this like multi-block, it's able to produce starlight regardless of whether or not the constellation's in the sky. If it isn't under the multi-block, it can only produce starlight while that constellation is up. So anyways, what am I doing? I need to supply it with the materials it asks for. Unfortunately, because this crafting uses different materials, I can't just put the materials in the hopper because I don't know what slot, will get asked for what material. And how many total do I need? 6. Nope, time to cannibalize. Anyways, I'm just going to finish crafting these irradiant stars. While we craft, I just want to mention the difference between the attuned and not attuned stars. The shifting star here lets you reset your skill points, these things, but it eliminates all of your experience in the process. It sets you back to level 1 and it lets you choose a new route, and that is trippy when I mouse over things. Whereas the attuned ones, when you use it, it will also reset your, it'll refund all your points, but it won't reset your EXP, so you get to keep your levels. Which generally means if you want to reset your perks, you should always use the attuned ones. Obviously, for each of the attuned ones, it starts you off at one of the routes. So, if you want to start at Armara, then you want to use the Armara attuned star. And just so I mentioned it, one last benefit of crafting using a celestial collector crystal, especially a perfect statted one, is that you will be able to craft even during the day. So as you can see, the sun's coming up, it's officially daytime, and we will maintain full starlight throughout the day. So yeah, that's especially in packs where you don't have, arbitrary control over day or night. Like if you don't have blood magic or like an anti-bed type mechanic, then it's very nice that it allows you to craft during the day. One creative mill coming right up. So this, I suppose you could say it's useful. It just produces an infinite amount of grid power. So right now we're producing 574. Now I guess it produces 10,000 grid power. Whether that's infinite or not remains to be seen. Next up, the creative energy cell, which is just a applied energistics, like the applied energistics power cell. It can power your AE system. That's about it. Alrighty, creative energy cell. Now if by some miracle of God our base runs out of power, or at least our ME system will not, for what that's worth. Anyways, next up, let's see, we can tick that off. Creative compressor. I think, yeah, nothing here catches my eye as particularly out of the ordinary. Well, I'm learning. For the creative compressor, we need 4 flux compressors, so I figured let's make one and animate it. The drops from the animated blocks are different. I'm hoping that this doesn't crash my game. But I think if I do this, they'll become normal blocks. There we go. Ooh. Gotta do a little bit of alchemy. And once that's done, we should be ready to make our creative compressor. I think it's basically the same as the other compressors, except it doesn't take fuel. So I'm not going to bother setting it up because I don't want to accidentally cause an explosion. Alright, let's go. Oh, missing something. Creative Essence Pressurizer. Alright, take two. Let's go. Perfect. And quest complete. So I think that completes the easy tasks. The next few have to be made in this combination crafting. So we have to make a crafting core and at least this many pedestals, however many that is. Is there any recipe that takes more? I guess it's only whichever of these two takes more. I'll do some counting and figure out how many crafting cores we need. Alright, so I came to the conclusion that I think it was 48 was the most pedestals we'll need. And I think they can go anywhere around the crafting core as long as they're within a certain distance. So I'm just gonna spam a bunch of them down. Looks like we get to use our creative fluid tank again too. The Ember source takes the signets of antimony, and I never want to touch this antimony making stupid thing again. So I wonder, can I don't know if there's a way to change the fluid, but no, whatever, I have plenty of fluid tanks to go around. Let's see, that, alright, and then can I get a full thing of it? Cool. You here, configure, push. And all I need is Ember shards. And that should make my signets of antimony for me. Much easier than using the mixer. So our creative Ember source here takes a fair number of these Ember crystal clusters. What is it, 6 of them in some of these focal lenses. 4. I've already made the focal lenses, but it takes the process of crafting these takes a little while, and I don't want to have to be here. It takes a fair bit of babysitting. Right? We have to put in the right amount of material and the right items and yada yada yada. I think this is something that could use some automation, partially because the chaos catalyst, one of the more difficult components in it, will be these flame barriers, which also requires automating the alchemy array. So let's do it now. My strategy for it so far has been, we'll have a energy condenser making ash, and that'll be distributed to the various pedestals, and we'll use a limited item filter to choose how many ash we insert. So in the case of, let's see, we're doing Ember crystal clusters. Ember crystal clusters, 43 of each in Dawnstone and Copper. All right, let's set that filter. So 43 in Dawnstone and Copper, which is these two. So 43 Dawnstone, 43 Copper. All right, and then as for the actual item inputs, they have to be hoppered in on the various sides, or inserted into the various sides of the exchange tablet. But because if I put, I hate these leggings. If I put these hoppers on the exchange tablet, I can't shoot it with the laser except from below. So I just linked a phantom face to it. That way, I tested real quick. We can insert items through the phantom face, and they end up in the appropriate side of the exchange tablet, which is pretty nifty. That allows us to, move our... That's not centered. Gosh darn it. Whatever. That allows us to move our automation away from here so that it's a little bit less clustered. Removing items still requires us to come over here, though, but that's fine. All right. So, for the case of the Ember crystal cluster, which is what we're doing now, I just have to put these items into the hoppers. So let me do that real quick. All right, so shards go in these 3. Crystals go on top, and gunpowder goes on the left. And we should see The one on top is not inserting. Can you not insert from the top? Let's try directly inserting on top. It'll be inconvenient if we can't do this. Doesn't work on this either. Maybe the top slot is bottom insert? Let's get a omnidirectional hopper then. Okay, yeah, it looks like bottom insert gets us the top slot, which is fine. Then I can bottom insert here too instead of top insert. No biggie. Anyways, and then as for, well, let's see. There should be ash in these. I think I haven't turned extract here on yet. So these should fill up with ash up to their prescribed limits. And in fact, let's get upgrades in here. So just to check before I fire off the laser, I think it was something like 47 or 43. Yeah, they should contain exactly 43. Whoopsies. Exactly 43 ash. So now I can either manually fire the laser by flipping this switch, or I set up a auto laser here where every 30 seconds it'll shoot the laser. I guess you have to wait 30 seconds for it to start, but that's alright. Screw it. For this, just for demonstration purposes, I'll manually fire it. Go. And it should craft. And when it finishes, it'll pop off. You know, in theory, it pops off that thing, but then a vacuum hopper will pick it up. So I guess at this point, I should just be able to turn this on and leave it on. And I estimated that it takes about 30 seconds to craft. If it takes longer than that, you know, I have to change this timer. But yeah, this should automatically craft every 30 seconds until we get the 6 Ember crystal clusters that we need. You know, at first I thought that the 1 tick redstone signal that this produces wouldn't be enough to, like, wasn't enough to fire the beam cannon, because I was just there waiting for it. And then I checked and realized 6,000 ticks is not 6,000 ticks is not 30 seconds. That's 300 seconds. So I was wondering why I wasn't firing. Anyways, now that I fixed it, it should fire in about 15 seconds. Any second now. Come on, please don't make me wrong again. I hate being wrong. I'm looking at that repeater, looking for it to light up, but it's not lighting up. Hey, there it goes. All right, I'm just bad at estimating how long 30 seconds is apparently. All right, so cool. Now this is automated. I'm gonna wait for this craft to finish too to make sure that 30 seconds is long enough. But if it is, then we've mostly at least automated our beam cannon alchemy thingy setup. Turns out that 30 seconds is a little bit too fast. It takes about 45 seconds to craft. So I set the interval to 50 seconds, right? Did I do the math right this time? Yeah, 50 times 20 is 1,000. Really hope I didn't miss anything, because if I did, trying to figure out what I forgot is going to be one hell of an exercise. So, whoopsies. Once you put everything down, and I also hope order doesn't matter. Hey, there we go. Creative Ember source. Now, my plan for this is to hook it up to our beam cannon. Let's see, I just put you here. We need a Ember emitter and a hammer. And that way I can just leave it running, you know, the whole time. How do you do this again? You right-click, shift right-click, ding dong, yep. And then I can just leave this on and it'll consume Ember from our creative source, which obviously is not going to run out. I hope. Anyways, that's one more down. So at this point, the only two creatives we have left are the generator and the mana pool. Both of them, however, take chaos ingots. Which means our next step, I guess we can call it, are chaos catalysts. Looking down this list, ignoring, so we can ignore everything that has an EMC value, even these. Like it's a lot of EMC. That's 270 billion each, and we only have how much do we have? 400 trillion to our name, but that's like 1,000, right? We can make over 1,000 fading matter, so that's still basically free. So it's all the wafers, but that's just it's slow, but it's circuit fabricator. Ethereal slates. Let's actually turn our ethereal slate production back on then. These, we have a stack, but we might need a bit more than a stack. So I can pull the downgrade out, and now it'll make up to 32 stacks of it. Assuming we have enough imbued inscription tiles, which we don't. Gosh, searching is so laggy. No, I don't want U tiles. Right, by the power of automation, that'll get taken care of. Slowly but surely. What's next? Nocturnal powder. This we just have to craft, but it's a very easy recipe. All these stones have EMC values. So a couple more alloys. Zirconium. Do these have block form? I guess we can animate them. We don't need a lot. Likewise, block form. So these are a little tricky. Zirc alloy does not have a block form, and HSLA. But once again, I think we need about 2 stacks of chaos catalysts, so I'll just probably craft a couple stacks of those. Tree resin. I think I have to grow some trees. That's fine. So yeah, it looks like the only thing here, and Naga scales, the only thing here that catch my eye as being particularly difficult are flame barriers. So I'll get that process started, and Naga scales, which hopefully we can run a root farm for Nagas, and that'll take care of that. So let's start by doing those flame barriers. So I determined that the recipe for flame barriers is 21 of each. I just tried it, and our, oops, here it is, our, with the minimum amount. So 16 plus 5 is 21. To switch the automation over from one item to the other, we just have to change the number of ash that gets put in these. So 21. You have to leave a dummy item in here too, because if the item is blank, then it'll just insert anything into here. Like a blank filter is accepted as everything. Anyways, it's Dawnstone and silver. So this one, 21 and 21. I turned this off earlier, so we can turn you back on. And that should fill just those 2 with ash. You can see the dark color inside means it's full. So we can, let's see, let's fire you off once and then turn the timer on. And I filled all these up with 5 stacks of inputs. So it should produce 5 stacks minus 1 from the failure of flame barriers at about 1 a minute. For what it's worth, I noticed that these are crafting a lot faster. You see it just finished one, and it's still like 20 seconds out from firing the laser. I think what it is that the more ash you use in a recipe, the longer it takes. So like the Ember crystal clusters, we're taking 43 of each ash, and we're taking about 45 seconds. I wouldn't be surprised if it took exactly 43 seconds. And these, which take 21 ash, are taking 21 seconds. But either way, I'm not going to bother messing with the timings. It's fast enough for now, because our bottleneck by far is going to be singularities. And in fact, if we look at this, we can see our bottleneck is, let's see, the one between iron leaf and steel leaf, or ironwood and steel leaf, which is fiery. All right. Well, if I want, I can go add another fiery, spawner, but then that'll just move our bottleneck to like night metal or something. Either way, we have 20 more ultimate singularities. I guess we can turn them into infinity catalysts, but that's not enough to make the couple of chaos ingots we need for the last two creatives. So how about we can wrap up this episode here. We'll come back tomorrow after our singularity machine has run for a little while longer, and we can make the creative mana pool and creative generator. And with that, we can, have our final thoughts and maybe put an end to this pack. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope to see you next time for what is likely to be the finale. Don't miss it. Take care. Bye-bye.